Thank you.
Okay, I have some questions through here, and I begin with Adewale Olaniyan. He's based here in Abuja. He said, "Good morning, Honorable Minister. How is the 753 duplexes seized from a single person going to be shared? Because I believe the houses were built with Nigerian money, and as such, it should go around the country." And MWO Abdul, naval rating, retired from Kano, says, "I am a retired naval rating and I served 35 years in the service and I don't have a house to live after my retirement. How will I get involved as a #1 citizen to benefit?" And Mr. Marka Dominic Oduen said, "I want to thank the Minister for throwing more light on the housing project for Nigerians. However, most of us, the federal civil servants, find it difficult to access these houses. How can a civil servant get access to this house seamlessly?" And Hajia Rahmat, a 60-year-old and above, should be considered for the federal mortgage loan if the beneficiary has a veritable means of livelihood beyond the retirement age.
Well, thank you very much. Some of the questions are very valid. For those retirees, I doubt if they have a very stable pension that usually comes their way. Because once you say it's a mortgage, then it means it has to be repaid. And Nigerians should know that for any loan to be given out, someone has to be credit worthy to access a loan. And once you accept the loan, it means you have to pay it. But we have an informal sector set up whereby even those who are not earning salaries from the government, they can also access mortgages from Nigerians. So it's very difficult for us to confirm whether a retiree could be able to access a loan from a bank or from a mortgage bank while his salary, he doesn't have a steady income. So that is the crux of the matter. Yeah.
Okay, I have this. This one says, "Good morning, sir. Honorable Minister, thanks for the enlightenment and efforts shared here. I would like to share my experience trying to get a house through the Federal Housing Loans Board for almost 4 years. It has been from frustrating application from one developer to another, and even more blocked-necked civil service politics, bribery and wickedness where a staff would hide one's files just to frustrate its movement, and the slow process that ends up leaving a bitter taste in one's mouth. Even as a level 12 officer with the Federal Civil Service, the federal loan can't even cover a 2-bedroom flat for me. So what do I do?" Then this one says, "Good morning. Thank you for the housing scheme initiative. Please, how can one access the housing scheme on a normal day without having to be a federal government worker? And how can it be assessed in the various states?" This is coming from Mrs. Helen. So probably you answered the first question.
Yeah, the first question that has to do with the Federal Housing Loans Board is a federal government agency under the head of service of the Federation. It is done to provide for the federal government workers a facility for them to access mortgage loans. And it's unfortunate, these frustrations, how he was able to be frustrated to that level. The only way is that if there are options, you move to the next option. The federal mortgage loan is there, and most of the Federal Housing Loans Board, sometimes they come to the federal mortgage bank to even raise some funding and then go and fund their own agency there. So I'm very much sure if he has tried the federal mortgage bank, he may get it much better than what he's getting, the frustration he's having now.
Okay.
Yes.
Then the second one says, "Thank you for the housing scheme. Please, how can one access the housing scheme on a normal day without having to be a federal government worker?"
Well, most of the loans are not only for federal government workers.
Okay.
Even the informal sector provisions are made. So like this, our own houses that we are doing, since they are under portal, nobody will ask you why you are working, but will ask you what you are earning.
Okay.
And whatever you earn, it can be in the informal sector or in the formal sector. It can be in the public or private sector, to which one can be able to earn a business. What it matters is for we to know what is your earnings and you have a steady income. Through your bank statement, one could be able to verify that. And that's the only way to do it. So it's not only for government workers.
It's not only for government workers, but Adewale is also asking about the 753 duplexes. What's going to happen to it?
For
is
the 774 houses that has just been delivered to us, it's a prudential directive for the chairman of EFCC to hand over the 753 houses that has been acquired illegally by a Nigerian, to which the president directed, after the forfeiture to the federal government by EFCC, they have gotten the forfeiture order. The president directed that these houses should be handed over to the ministry to complete them and sell them to Nigerians, and some of it for federal government needs. So that's what the directive is all about. And what we did today, this Monday morning, I'm going to inaugurate the committee to go and do the assessment in terms of the integrity test to ensure the structural stability of the houses, and then do the assessment for the completion of the houses, and then also come up with the framework for selling of those houses. And selling of these houses, I'm sure, will not be different from what we are doing now in the ministry, but specifically for those type of houses that have been seized under the seizure of the EFCC. So we want to assure Nigerians that once these things are completed, we finish our assessment, then we go ahead and complete at least the infrastructure of the estate and some of the ancillary facilities within the estate, and take the houses to a level that up to roof level and plastered externally. Then we can even start selling them to the public
as
for them as carcass they complete internally, because every Nigerian has his own taste and ability in terms of affordability to finish it. But we want to finish them so that all the terraces will look the same, all the block of flats will look the same, all the duplexes will look the same, so that there won't be any differences. Nobody can come and add another floor on the existing structure, so that, because it's not meant for that. So once we're able to standardize these houses, then we'll start selling. And assure Nigerians in a couple of weeks will now come up with a framework for the sales of these houses.
Will you go through a public-private partnership to do that?
To complete,
yes.
We have not yet come to that. We then need to bring in the public-private partnership. Government needs to put a little funding for the completion of the houses to the level we can sell them off. One, we are completing the infrastructure. Already there are some few infrastructure on ground. The roads are already laid, but no drainages, no water, no electricity. So we have to provide that. There is a fence, we have to strengthen the fence, do a gate house. There are other ancillary facilities like the sports center, the shopping malls and other facilities that were provided in the estates. So we want to complete them. For the houses, every house, most of the houses, or almost all the houses are not roofed. So we want to roof them, plaster externally, and then dispose them off to the public for them to acquire.